Welcome to the Food Business Podcast from Kitchen to Cash. My name is Ashish.
And this is Satvir here.
And today we are going to talk about setting up a cafe. And let's go about talk about cafe in more detail. We spoke about some basics in the last episode, Satvir.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's continue with that. What's it?
Go for it. Anything on your mind, Ashish? Let's start with it.
Okay. So one thing that you told us the last time is that you need to go for a course in coffee before you start thinking of starting a cafe. So knowledge
Yes.
of coffee is important. So why don't we start with that? And you tell us what kind of a knowledge about coffee one needs to have.
Ashish, there are basic things to it. Nothing much. Nothing's a rocket science, right? Right. But there's certain basic things you should be knowing about coffee, right? The first and foremost thing is the kind of beans you're using. So is it Robusta beans, Arabica beans? What is the top quality of your beans, etc., etc.? That's the first part you should know. The second, you should know what kind of a roast is your beans are having. Is it a dark roast? Is a medium roast or a light roast? Right? Light roast is sometimes referred as a blonde roast and stuff like that. Then you should know what kind of acidity level your beans are producing. Right? That will give a body to the shot or the espresso shot you're going to have. Now, once you
Okay.
drink a shot, how long does it linger on your tongue?
Okay.
Just like wine tasting, Ashish,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is it a full body or is it a light body, right? What is the origin of your beans? For example, if it's from India, they'll be more chocolatey.
Okay.
If they're Sumatran, right, they'll be more intense. Kenyan are
Mm.
far more intense. Right?
Okay.
Ethiopian, according to me, are sweet. So you need
Mm-hmm.
to know what kind of the origin of the coffee places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the basics of going for a successful business. You can't
Okay.
simply procure beans and not have a. You need to have a corrector to your place. So you
Mm.
need to
Mm.
think that what kind of a flavor do you like
Mm.
and what kind of a flavor people will like when they come to your
Mm.
shop.
So even before you go in for a cafe business,
Yes.
it's important that you familiarize yourself with the kind of coffees. Go out, have a lot of coffees, a, have a discussion with the barista that
Sure.
what is it that they're using. I think that's how
Ashish,
we'll come to know, right?
so much in it, right?
Mm.
Where the
Mm.
consultants come in. For
Mm.
example, I'll give you the easiest example. The most famous cola brands that are there,
Mm.
they have a different cola flavor for every country,
Mm.
right? The same goes for coffee.
Mm.
Can't have
Mm.
one single flavor catering to everyone.
Everyone, right?
Yes, that's the
Mm.
first part. Now, I've seen
Yeah.
people, they just think about opening a coffee shop, they buy a coffee machine, they hire a barista, then they'll find the cheapest beans out there,
Yeah.
right? And what happens is
Hmm.
that your place doesn't have a character anymore. It's just
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
any other place. Why would you like,
Any other place?
why would somebody
Hmm.
get addicted to that place if you don't have that?
Hmm.
Your coffee
Hmm.
needs to have a signature based.
Hmm. There needs to be a differentiator when it comes to coffee.
Yes. And then on
Hmm.
repeat customer will come to you. If you
Hmm.
don't have it, Ashish, then running a coffee business, coffee or chai, both, it's completely off the. The same
Hmm.
for Ashish for the chai, right?
Hmm.
You need to
Hmm.
know what leaves you're using.
Hmm. Right.
What's the brewing temperature? How
Hmm.
much time to brew them? Do they that particular brew allows you to add milk? honey, sugar, what kind of sugar. The same is in the coffee. So there's something everybody should try, right? You go to the same place every day for 7 days and just put little small variations in your coffee. The first being,
Okay.
try it with white sugar one day.
Hmm.
Next day, try it with brown sugar, right? Next day, try it with jaggery.
Okay.
Next day, try it with cinnamon.
Hmm.
Next day, try it with hazelnut. You will
Okay.
find that the same coffee base will behave differently just by adding honey or different kind of sugar.
Okay.
That's
Hmm.
how the taste is developed by the corporations, Ashish. You need
Hmm.
to know what people will like. But first, you need to
Hmm.
experience it before
Hmm.
you start selling it,
Hmm.
right? Let's say you're running a successful business. Somebody comes up to you and asks you 10 different questions about coffee. And you are
Hmm.
looking left and right and calling your barista. It's not good for your
Hmm.
business. Anyhow,
Hmm.
moreover,
Hmm.
once the barista changes his job, how will you be able to keep the quality intact,
Right.
right? Although the equipment
Hmm.
required for both this, the coffee shop, and a tea shop or a tea lounge is totally different, right?
Okay.
In India, specialty tea or green teas are not that much used. Most
Hmm.
of the people like regular masala chai
Boiled tea with yeah,
milk.
with milk. Hmm.
But still, Ashish, there's a huge market. It
Hmm.
depends upon your
Hmm.
business model. If you're in a
Hmm.
really high-end mall and
Hmm.
do specialty green teas,
Hmm.
there's some unique flavors that are out there, right? It's a hit, Ashish. People
I know. I know. Green teas are doing really well. I think
really
a lot
well.
of people are switching to
There's
green
so
teas
many new
because of the
flavors,
health.
Ashish.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
guava, honey chili. I tried a honey chili green tea
Oh, really?
a
Uh-huh.
couple of years
Interesting.
back, Ashish. I'm in love. I cannot tell you.
Ah,
It sounds different,
ah.
right?
Hmm.
But it was
Hmm.
amazing.
Hmm.
Then I tried red chili tea. Now
Hmm.
you will not believe that red chili in a tea, man. What's the
Hmm.
world
Hmm.
coming up to, right? It's like
Hmm.
making Maggie with chocolate, right? It's the same thing.
Chocolate. Yeah. Yeah.
But the flavor was so good, but
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
the tea leaves were
Hmm.
complementing the red chili, and they knew
Hmm.
exactly how much to put in.
Yeah. The proportions will matter. The formula will matter then.
And then you
Hmm.
go back to that shop, and
Hmm.
then you want to try something new. Everybody wants to try something new,
Right.
right? So the same goes for coffee. And the second part to the coffee is that you should know that coffee is never served blazing hot like tea, right? There won't be military heat given to the coffee. It's
Hmm.
always served at a good temperature. So you
Hmm.
can finish your coffee. For example,
Hmm.
Ashish, this is like um, an easy thing, right? Most of the coffee shops these days, they serve extra hot coffee,
Hmm.
which is because the customer requires it. But the
Hmm.
real temperature of coffee is just above warm.
Okay.
Because once you order your cappuccino, you're supposed to finish it with 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
3.5 minutes is not going to uh,
Hmm.
release the optimum flavor. The,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
taste of the coffee changes.
Okay.
If you overheat it, the taste of the coffee changes,
Coffee changes. Yeah.
right? And the loyal customers will always come and tell you what how they want it. They
Hmm.
never
Hmm.
like it extra hot and stuff like that. And these
Hmm.
small things about the business that when you go for a training by a coffee board or by any good barista or a coffee specialty place, they'll let you know. Otherwise, from outside, Ashish, You'll always think that,
Hmm.
oh, this is not required and I don't
It's
need,
just coffee.
it's just coffee.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
kind of things
Yeah.
are always there, Ashish.
Okay. Interesting.
Apart from it, Ashish, once you're running a business or any business that is there, once you know the basics of the coffee, then it's about
Hmm.
knowing how you want to go about it. There's different ways you
Okay.
set up a coffee shop,
Hmm.
right? The first being, Ashish, that you just run a basic coffee shop with bakery items. You'll have
Okay.
cakes, muffins, stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
It's a small cafe. You can even have a bun
Hmm.
maska in it. Look, totally legit,
Okay.
right?
So
Anything,
you don't have a live kitchen.
you don't have a live kitchen. You just have a
Hmm.
basic coffee machine, right? And couple of tables. I would recommend
Hmm.
minimum 5 tables because
Hmm.
below 5 tables, the churn would not be there to make the place profitable. So if you have five
Okay.
tables, so 10 people would
Hmm.
be able to sit minimum at one time.
Hmm. Okay.
That's the basic coffee shop, Ashish.
Hmm. This would
Roughly
be close to 100 to 200 square feet of space.
250 square feet is fine because you need space for people to walk through,
Move around.
move around, and everything. So
Hmm.
250 is ideal, right?
Okay.
Amount of space, 5 tables, then you have 100 square feet reserved for your preparation area. Because
Right.
somebody's going to be making coffee, there's a teller machine there, somebody taking the orders, there'll be a sandwich griller or something or something. Basic.
Hmm.
Now, this setup will cost you anything between 5 to 7 lakhs minimum,
Okay.
right? Now,
Hmm.
it's a lot of money, Ashish, right?
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
look, a good coffee machine will cost you anything between 75,000 to 5 lakhs.
Okay, but this is a huge variation. 75,000 and 5 lakhs is a
Huge
huge
variation.
variation. Hmm.
Variation comes with how many portafilters do you have,
Okay.
the place where you can brew the coffee. How many,
Okay.
is it a single or a double? That's one.
Okay.
Second is
So
the
when a person
quantity.
is looking at the 75,000 machine,
Yes, that'll be a very
how
small
many
machine.
cups? Hmm.
That'll be a very small machine, which would be only
Hmm.
be able to make like a coffee cup every 2.5 minutes. And
Okay.
in an hour, not more than 20 cups. Look,
Okay.
the machine has a boiler in it, in which
Hmm.
the steam is generated and a hot water is created. Now, that has a
Hmm.
limitation.
Hmm.
Now, when the
Hmm.
cost goes up, it either has
Hmm.
multiple boilers
Hmm.
to feed the coffee machine or a bigger one.
Okay.
So, the smaller the boiler, the smaller the machine. Now, we don't only need machine to make an espresso shot, Ashish. We also need steam to froth the milk.
For the milk, yeah.
So the steam actually, when we once we start using the steam band, what happens is that the machine runs out of the hot water inside.
Okay.
Boiler cools
Hmm.
down. So it again needs
Hmm.
time to attain the temperature again. So big
Hmm.
machine, more cups of coffee can you make in one go,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
That's the first part. Now, if you're going
Hmm.
to the basic machine, then you will not be able to make too many cups of coffee. So I
Hmm.
recommend people that even if you go with a smaller machine, it's okay, right? But try buying a 1.5 lakh rupee machine. I'm not going to name a brand
Okay.
here. Any all brands are
Hmm.
brands. You
Hmm.
need
So basically, what are they looking at in terms of the boiler size? They could be any brand, but what configuration should they be looking at?
it should be more than three liters of boiler, Ashish.
Okay, 3 liters of boiler.
3 liters
Okay.
of boiler, and the different
Hmm.
configurations that come in with the modern machine coming in. Some are quick, boil and quick steam functions they
Hmm.
have. Some of them have smaller boilers for
Hmm.
steam function only. So they
Hmm.
are. But going with the money parity, Ashish, I would recommend
Hmm.
anything between 1.5 to 1.7
Hmm.
lakhs for a coffee machine.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, there's another thing that you need to buy with the coffee machine. That's a coffee grinder.
Okay.
That's a compulsory. Don't buy a machine
Hmm.
with built-in grinder because
Okay.
grinder doesn't work, your machine doesn't work. And with electronics coming these days, Ashish, you don't want your machine to go through stress with everything. It'll be the same circuit board doing everything. Something is bound to go wrong. So buy
Hmm.
things independent.
Okay. So
That's the
let one machine only do one work.
one
Multitasking doesn't go well everywhere.
everywhere. No,
Yeah.
it's practical, Ashish, because once you're in a
Right.
commercial space, right?
Hmm.
If let's say if you have a space restraint, a big one, then it's okay. You're ready to do something.
Hmm.
If you don't, buy a separate grinder and a separate coffee machine. Don't mix them up. Once
Okay.
you start putting the same thing, every egg into the same basket, something is bound to go wrong, Ashish. In the end, it's machinery. Something will break,
Right.
something will
Hmm.
happen. And what
Hmm.
happens is if you have a built in grinder, Ashish, and the grinder goes bad, the technician will have to take your machine,
Take the machine. So you are stuck.
stuck.
Otherwise, only you can just replace it with another grinder and your
Yeah.
business is still on. Your business is not
You
coming
can
to a
buy the
halt.
coffee powder from somebody, someplace, or get your beans grounded from some other place and still run
Right.
for a day or two,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So that's the problem,
Hmm.
right? So you'll be buying a grinder, Ashish. A good grinder would cost minimum 35,000.
Okay.
And from there, it can go up to 1 lakh.
Okay.
That's the second part, Ashish. Then,
Hmm.
then there are other things to it, Ashish. The equipment with which you make
Hmm.
coffee, right?
Hmm.
They're small things like 2, 3, 4,000. They'll cost you.
Hmm.
But this is the
Hmm.
basic. Apart from this, you
Okay.
require a fridge, a
Hmm.
defrosser for the ice creams, a blend.
Hmm.
A good blender will cost you, a good commercial blender will cost you minimum 15,000, Ashish.
Okay.
If you buy a cheap blender, what happens is that it separates the fat from the milk.
Hmm. Hmm.
Silky smooth texture people are so used to from
Hmm. So
cafe.
your frappes will not come out right if you
Even
have a slow grinder.
that's
Hmm.
why at home when we make a frappe,
Hmm.
it never comes out the
Hmm.
same. The
Hmm.
whole thing lies in the blender, right?
Hmm.
Then you need to have a griller for the sandwiches
Hmm. Hmm.
and a display fridge for all your food items.
Hmm.
So these are the
Hmm.
basics, Ashish. The display
Hmm.
fridge will cost you anything between 75,000 and it
Hmm.
can go to 3 lakhs. Why
Okay.
variation? The variation comes from whether it's analog, digital, air
Hmm.
cooled, non air cooled, stuff like that.
Hmm.
But anything will
Hmm.
work in the start beginning, Ashish. Then you
Hmm.
keep on upgrading your equipment.
Hmm.
I
Equipment.
believe in that. Don't put
Hmm.
everything into a fridge and think that customer just gonna look at the fridge only. There'll be more.
Yeah.
They'll they have more to look inside the fridge. So what do you have
Hmm. Hmm.
for them, right?
Hmm.
This is the basic.
So what you are recommending is that you don't have to go for the high-end equipment in the first go.
No,
You can start with the basic, which will fulfill your requirement. Don't go
yeah,
so basic that you are not able to run your business smoothly. Say if you have three customers coming in and you are not able to make 3 cups of coffee in 10 minutes, then there's a problem.
look,
So,
there are three customers standing together, Ashish. They'll require the coffee
hmm,
together.
hmm.
If you have too much lag between the three cups, the first
The first one
will
will go
always
cold.
get cold, and
Yes.
nobody wants that. And
Hmm,
nobody
hmm.
wants to be served alone, and the other two people are not.
Right.
So that's the thing, Ashish. Here,
Hmm, hmm,
I, I,
hmm. Absolutely.
I will come to the second part of the costing also, Ashish. But this is the equipment
Hmm.
cost. Apart
Hmm.
from this, there are two major costs to your cafe, which you're going to start. One is crockery, right? I am
Hmm.
going to say it again, buy a good ceramic crockery, thick one. Don't buy fine bone china. Bone china gets cold quickly, right? And ceramic will retain the heat, which is important for the coffee business. Moreover, it's
Hmm.
heavy, so the people don't feel cheated while drinking. People like to
Right.
hold a cup in their hand, they like to feel the warmth of the cup. Bone china will not be able to do that,
Hmm.
right? So, buying good crockery is the base for your cafe. If you're buying
Cafe.
good, if you're having a takeaway model, also go for the best takeaway cups that you can buy, right? The first
Okay.
impression comes from the cups. The second will be
Hmm.
after drinking the coffee. But if the first impression
Hmm.
is that bad, then half the flavor is gone already.
Gone. Yeah. Yeah. And nowadays, in the takeaway thing, those ribbed
Cups are there,
cups
actually.
or takeaway cups are the best because then you're not burning your fingers.
Yes, Ashish. Moreover,
Hmm.
for even for the takeaway thing, Ashish, you need to have proper lids, right? The proper
Hmm.
stirrers, bamboo stirrers. You need to have how many sugar pouches, what kind do they look, your branding, your logo, everything needs to be taken care of for a
Hmm.
successful business, Ashish.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this is
Hmm.
the basic cost for the um, place, Ashish. Apart from that, you'll
Hmm.
be looking at a 5 table setup. So each table will cost you anything between 15,000 to 25,000. Depends upon the kind
Okay.
of materials you take. So
Okay.
5 tables are there.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
overall, you should be looking at around 7 lakhs with renovation and other things. There's
Okay.
one thing, Ashish, then again I'm gonna say, right? I keep on repeating myself on this. If your investment is 7 lakhs for the material, for renovation, and for your everything inside, right? Apart from this, whenever you start the business, you should have 3 months of rental with you and
Okay.
2 months of salary and 1 month of advance payment for everything that goes in the cafe regarding the food and
Okay.
raw material, Ashish.
Okay.
If you don't have
Okay.
this backup,
Hmm.
don't go for it,
Hmm.
right? I'm not discouraging anybody here, but
Hmm.
in the end, that this is the reason why most of the businesses shut down within first 6 months. The calculations are not done right, and in the end,
Hmm.
you will lose your hard-earned money,
Hmm.
right? I'm just repeating so that nobody loses their hard-earned
Hmm.
money, Ashish.
Hmm.
Again and
So
again.
this money is like your backup money. You are not using this. So this should be there in your bank account,
Yes, Ashish.
which you'll fall back on only when you are not generating any other. You're not generating your revenue
Ashish,
from your business.
the business model
Hmm.
has changed so much these days. I'm sorry, I'm going off the
Hmm.
track here.
Hmm. Hmm.
That people are reserving 10% of whatever the investment is only for
Hmm.
marketing,
Okay.
especially the online marketing, Ashish.
Hmm.
In the online marketing, you don't even see the pamphlets. It's just the ads and money going out,
Right. Right.
right? Or you talk to an influencer of your particular city and they're going to
Hmm.
put these many ads for you and stuff like that. But that's about
Hmm.
it, Ashish.
Hmm. Hmm.
So things have changed rapidly now,
Hmm.
right? And everybody should know that there are very few businesses which simply click on day one. Most don't. It takes time to build up your market. It takes time for people to recognize your effort, and it takes time for people to come back again. It's a challenge to get people visit your place for the first time. That's the acquisition cost, Ashish. Now, whether you give your product for free or tasting or whatever you do, their cafe,
Or
even
deep discounting, whatever you're doing.
counting
Yeah.
Ashish, their cafe these days, Ashish, like the biggest chain in the world. I don't want to name any chain, but they especially do on every Wednesday or Thursday, they do coffee tasting, Ashish,
Okay.
and they want to educate their clients the what kind of a coffee are we selling. Oh, it comes from Sumatra. Do you know it is processed by the farmers 4 times? I'm just randomly saying stuff, Ashish. What happens is that you make a bond with the
You're engaging with your customers.
yes,
They come to know you as a brand, you
brand
as a person behind the brand.
behind the
Yeah.
and they know and you it's a subtle marketing, Ashish, that goes in, but it's the marketing cost, Ashish. In the end, they're giving out free coffee. It's the time people will come in just for free coffee. But once they start attending for a couple of weeks, definitely for the brand comes in. The muscle memory sets in, Ashish. So I again I'm going. I'm sorry. I'm going a little off the topic here. So there was one
Yeah.
consultation I did for someone and
Yeah.
long time back, Ashish.
Yeah.
I told them that what you can do is you do muffins free with coffee
Okay.
and you just charge like $100 for your coffee. And
Hmm.
just buy any muffins. I'm
Hmm.
saying any muffins, like those 10 rupee
Hmm.
ones. You'll see people, the repeat will be there.
Hmm.
Customers gonna come the next day for the free muffins, again the next day. But you only put it for a specific time, let's say 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock morning,
Your lean hours.
lean hours. So
Hmm.
they saw the sale growth by
Hmm.
35% just by doing
Oh, okay.
just by doing
Hmm.
this. So let's say you're selling
Hmm.
the coffee for $100.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, right?
Hmm.
Your actual cost for manufacturing of that coffee cup was $20, including everything,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
We put another 20 for the labor and the place,
Hmm.
and 20 rupees for the muffin. You're still making
Hmm.
money. But the
Still
important
making
thing
money.
is
Hmm.
that you've introduced a breakfast culture to your place.
Right.
Now,
Hmm.
everybody's not going to order muffin every day. They're going to order something else the other day. And you can charge the full rate then. So that's the bigger thing, Ashish. That's what goes on. So, Ashish, by introducing a breakfast culture to some place,
Hmm.
we've increased the revenue. But these are small things
Hmm.
that you have to do to run your business nicely. It doesn't matter what is your investment
Hmm.
cost. It's how you go about the place, Ashish. That's the important thing here,
Right. Right.
right?
Hmm.
So I will say, even if you have less amount with you, do keep uh,
Hmm.
some amount, 30%, at least for your bad time in the business,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And at least
Hmm.
10% of the total investment for marketing, which you can span out
Okay.
in like
Hmm.
2 months' time. You should come with a plan,
Right. So getting people into your cafe is more important
more
for the
important.
first time. And here I would also suggest one thing. Now that we are getting into the marketing bit, you will get a lot of people who will say, "We'll do digital marketing for you, SEO for you. You need to have a website and all." So you can let it be for the first 2 3 months.
Yes.
Just focus on one or two mediums, and that too, just focus on the local market. If you are going by Insta, just target your local audience, your local market. You are not an influencer. You don't
Ashish,
need to spend money there. You don't need
nothing,
a killer website there. Yeah.
nothing beats a good Insta account. Nothing beats getting
Hmm.
influencers into your cafe. People are
Hmm.
bound to come back to you, right?
Right.
Remember your star dish, how you want to promote your star
Hmm.
dish, either with a price or with flavor.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just go for it.
Hmm.
So this is like
Absolutely.
we
And
are
initially, I think the first thing that that I look at when I go to a new cafe is service. Even if the coffee is very good, the ambience is killer, or the furniture is very good, very comfortable, but the service is poor. The barista is not smiling, and it's a big turn off. So service would remain the king there, right?
thing there, Ashish. That
Hmm.
goes for any food business, Ashish. From cart
Hmm.
to a restaurant, if your server, if your food preparer, anybody you are interacting with is not
Hmm.
smiling, it's not going to work. There are very few
Hmm.
places that work the other way around, and
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
few, right? Only some kachori places somewhere that they work like
I
that,
know.
right?
They'll work like that now. But that is the only kachori that you'll get in the 50-kilometer area. So you are bound to buy it from the frowning
Yeah,
kachori wala.
that is true, Ashish.
Yeah.
So, Ashish, I think we have covered the basic cost of a cafe, what all
Hmm.
you should be doing and not doing today. I think we should
Right.
continue it more in the next
Hmm.
episode on setting up a
Hmm.
medium cafe with like
Okay.
10 tables. We'll talk more
Okay.
about um, the kind of renovations you should go in, the kind of sitting
Okay.
you should go in.
Hmm.
We'll talk more
Hmm.
about the equipment once you add
Hmm.
kitchen to your cafe.
Add a live kitchen. Right now, we are only using pre-made bakery and some savories.
Yes, Ash.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it in the next episode of ours.
Perfect.
And I will request everybody that any suggestions you have regarding this, please let us know. Please help us make better, right? And we'll try to accommodate as many suggestions as we can.
Absolutely. Suggestions, questions, comments, do share them with us. Any challenges that you are facing in your existing business, or if you're planning to start a business and you have any questions, do let us know. And we'll catch you in the next episode. See you guys. Bye.
Bye and happy cooking to you. Bye.